Hi, we've got on-air TV personality and host Hanna Tucker. Celebrities are getting social, and we are going kitten fishing!
You're listening to It's Complicated with your hosts Jennifer Golden and Lauren Leonelli, coming to you live from the AfterBuzz TV studios in Los Angeles, California.
Hey everyone, welcome back for an all-new episode of It's Complicated.
The struggle is real when you're dating in the city.
I'm Jen.
And I'm Lauren, and today our drink of the day is Sparkling Rose. This is one of our all-time favorites. You've seen us drinking it before, and it's our guest's favorite. So, I mean, we're not going to argue with that. And also, we've had so much rosé over the long holiday weekend that we've got to keep our withdrawals. We've got to maintain that. It's been hard.
Why stop a good thing?
Why? Yes. Oh, which one is it?
This one. Thank
yes,
you.
You pour that in.
Thank you, darling.
All right. So, cheers to some rosé down the hatch.
Down the hatch.
Yeah, never going to say
Cheers.
no to this. It's very sparkly and pink.
So guys, today we have live 101.5 on-air personality and TV host Hanna Tucker in the studio.
Yes, you guys. Hanna B. Tucker began her career in modeling at the age of 13. She traveled all over Peru, Shanghai, all of the places. Then she landed in New York, where she pursued full-time modeling jobs. You may have seen her in Abercrombie. Remember them? CoverGirl, Kate Spade, Teen Vogue, Saks Fifth Avenue, just to name a few. And she also appeared on TV shows like Live with Kelly and Michael. She was one of the models. She also was on QVC as a model as well. So Hanna then landed a spot working for Harper's Bazaar because she's in New York. So obviously that's where you go. And that's when she began to walk down her path and introduced herself into the media business.
And Hanna is, just not just a pretty face. She's also educated.
That's right.
And she got her bachelor's in mass communications and media at the #2 journalism school in the nation, Arizona State University. It's actually Walter Cronkite's school of journalism.
Yes,
so that's fancy. And then
fancy.
in Phoenix, she worked her way up at CBS Radios, and she was the promotions assistant of the month.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing. That's like employee of the month, but promotions assistant of the month.
Yeah.
In August 2016. And now she holds a spot on air on the top 40 station Live 101.5. That's like not a small job, guys.
No, and obviously she did this all on her own. I love how she started out as one thing and became another. And you can also see Hanna on local TV stations as a spokesperson for Phoenix Fashion Week, where she talks about emerging designers from all around the nation and top trends. Hanna has a passion for fashion, which we totally understand. And it is also matched by her passion for the red carpet. And she has interviewed at New York Fashion Week, which was like the Mecca. She interviewed Brandy Jackson and Miss J. Alexander, BB Rexa, Sammy Sweetheart, and more.
And we think it's important to keep a positive conversation going in regards to supporting, celebrating, and empowering women. And we love that Hanna is making her mark as a woman in a male-dominated media and entertainment industry. So we're going to talk to her about what girl power means to her, why she doesn't suppress her go-getter attitude, and how gender roles affect people's views on dating and relationships. And maybe we want some, little fashion advice on what to wear on our nights out as singles who want to, lock someone down, or for those that are tied down and they want to spice it up.
That's right, you guys. We are so excited to get Hanna in the studio. We have so many questions for her, and if you can't get enough of us and you want to share, don't forget our interview lives forever on YouTube and anywhere you listen to your podcasts.
Just all the places, guys. But before we get into all of that, we're going to fill you in on what we've been up to this last week and air our dirty laundry.
Longest weekend ever!
Not long enough.
Not long enough, but then also it kind of stressed me out.
Why?
Because I felt like it was so long, and then all of a sudden, hump day rolled around. I was like, fuck, there's no time to complete anything.
No, there wasn't. We needed what I think it would have been better if it was Friday to Tuesday.
And we're
then
fucked next year because 4th of July is
a Wednesday?
literally in the middle of the week. Like, what is that going to do? Mochi is
Mochi
here.
Golden is here, and she is scarfing on some of the delicious AfterBuzz TV popcorn.
I mean,
and
okay.
making herself at home, which
Okay.
is nice. I hope that's
So
okay
what
for
did-
dogs.
it's
So
fine.
anyway,
Yeah.
so I was
What did you do?
real busy relaxing. But I'm not kidding. This was like a major undertaking because I had to schedule it with different friends at different
Yes.
times to do the relaxing. So like one day I went to the dog beach with little Mochi Golden and our friend's dog, and it was like a double date of the dogs and parents, and we just like lounged all day, and it was wonderful. Like then just kept the party going, went to like Mexican food, then we watched like movies, and it was just like an all day play date. And I think Mochi won the weekend because she had a
Oh.
play date every day.
Nice.
And so then there was another day with a different dog and like relaxing with that dog. And I mean, I think I just got to relax because Mochi was having fun. So it was
Right.
really great. But then went to barbecues, pools, I don't know. Watched a lot of new things on Netflix, Hulu, The Handmaid's Tale.
Oh, I
It's
don't-
amazing.
Oh, gosh.
Stop what you're doing and go home and watch that. Forget Netflix and chill. Hulu and
I turn my
Something else.
TV on to watch The Housewives, and I like have to make time for it while I'm not falling asleep.
yeah, I watched it last night.
I really feel like I should just get rid of my cable.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm saying that, but I literally don't turn my TV on. I have to. Talking about scheduling your relaxing time. I have to like schedule a time. I used to just always have the TV on, or I just never. Anyway, I went up to Northern California to my happy place, and it was a vacation. But I'm not gonna lie, I am so exhausted. It's like this every time because when you go somewhere where you have like family and friends to see, you are nonstop. First of all, Alaska Airlines canceled my flight. So I had 2 hours of sleep the night before getting to the Russian River, which is where I was going. So got there, and you understand it is an all-day party. We are on the beach drinking on 2 hours of sleep, and then getting home and showering and going out and drinking more
I don't know
until
how you did it.
2 in the morning, to then not really have a good night's sleep, to then wake up and do it all over again for like 4 days in a row. Meanwhile, trying to sort of coordinate seeing my mom and my stepdad and that family, and I just kept drinking in order to just maintain a thing, but I'm like so tired I couldn't even. It was fun because I love the Russian River. Didn't really feel like a vacation though.
No, I need to actually just lie on a beach
I need to
somewhere
lie on
with
a
a
beach.
tropical drink.
That would be
and
nice.
the sun beating down on me and like nap and
not
wake up
have to
and
worry about
that's it.
anything but you and the person you're with. I haven't actually done that in years.
Same.
I've been on vacations, sort of work related and things of that nature, but I have not just sat on my ass.
I need
I
it.
don't- I would love to do that.
to be told to relax and just lay.
Yeah, but it was fun, and I am going up to Lake George, which is my boyfriend's happy place, which is very similar to the Russian River, as he was explaining, and I think that I was thinking the same thing. And so that'll be fun, too. It's going to be, I think, kind of chaotic and sort of the same, because it's a cabin full of people, and it's his family that I'm really kind of hanging out with the first time, and there's lots of kids. So it'll be fine, but it's not going to be like, let's just lay and relax.
No, you need a vacation from your vacation.
I know. Ugh, anyway.
Anyway,
Yeah.
So guys, we want to wish a happy 10th anniversary to Sir Rod Stewart and Penny Lancaster.
I mean, you guys, speaking of going on trips, we are definitely packing our emotional baggage and meeting celebrities in baggage claim
Yeah.
because these two have been married for 10 years. She's about 7 inches taller than him.
well, yeah, I don't think that 72-year-old man even cares because he's like, I got this hot chick. So
Yeah.
and he's also super famous. So he's like, I think height is probably
Doesn't really matter.
no to me. It would, but he's a sir, so maybe I would see past it.
Yeah, I mean, hey. So, yeah, they've been married for 10 years.
Yeah, and so they just celebrated their anniversary and they like got married. They like renewed their vows.
That
and
would
it was,
be, yes, renewing their vows.
yeah, they remarried.
They got married, guys.
That's a thing.
Yes.
But what they did was so special because all of the gifts and anything that was, brought to them was actually contributed in honor of the Grenfell fire in London, the tower that just lit up in flames and tons of people died, and it's just horrendous. More than 80 people were killed. So they used this momentous occasion to actually help others, and I think that's
Which was
really
nice.
wonderful.
Yeah, so that's nice. They did something good, and not good things are also happening. We said the celebrities are getting social, and that they are. Rob Kardashian and Black China.
They need muzzles.
I am so, it's making me nervous. First of all, their daughter's name is Dream. And second of all,
Her life seems like it's a nightmare if she's born into this family.
well, and I was thinking about this. I was going through this article. I was thinking, all of this stuff seems like a really big deal to us. And it is really a big deal. They're going through this horrible separation. Black China was cheating on him. He's like, I've never felt so disrespected in my life. I bought her $250,000 worth of jewelry, and she's with this other guy, and take your snaps down. He's thanking his father for showing him the light. And it's like, but I feel like on their level, it's less of a big deal because this fucking shit happens all the time to them. It's like, what damage control do they have to do tomorrow because someone married someone in 4 days and someone's married and divorced 4 times? And this is like
Or a sex tape.
This is old fucking news to them. It's like, how many marriages and divorces have they been through? None of them are even close to 40.
No.
And there's already been like 7 divorces collectively between all of them. It's like no big deal. It's like, oh, well, I bet you Kris Kardashian's just like, oh, well, here's another fucking thing. I mean, they're not getting divorced. They were never married. But it's like.
It's just crazy that like they're being so explicit.
And
also,
publicly.
And
yeah.
he's like posting like things that she's sent him. So he's sharing these private things. And
she's just like, oh, calm down.
Yeah,
it's
which
like,
is odd that she's the one that's like so calm, but I'm sure that makes him even more angry. It's like when people say relax and then it makes people more fired up.
No.
So I think, people have these kinds of fights all the time, but the fact that they're doing it so publicly, like, and you could delete that, but like that also could just live on Twitter forever, or like wherever these things are being Instagram. Like it's just nasty and ugly.
Nasty.
And why?
And you can keep things private if you want. I know that they live their lives very publicly, and some things you can't avoid. But if you really want to, I mean, they're making this choice to like do these things so everyone can read them, sort of like what Donald Trump does. It's like you don't have to be doing this.
No, and also I don't know why Rob Kardashian feels like he needs to like put her on blast on the public forum, because I don't know that he's like showing us the light about her. No one really thought she was that great to begin with.
Like,
Or did we think she was Mother Teresa of Black China?
I'm sorry. It's actually funny.
I know.
He obviously feels tricked for some reason, so I guess he wants everyone else to understand that.
Well,
but
he looks like an idiot because he feels tricked. We all knew what he was dealing with.
Well, and also
we were not tricked.
Learn your own lesson on your own. Don't drag other fucking people down with you.
No, good Lord. I mean,
the social media is getting out of control.
Out of control. But you know what? Sometimes people use social media to make things official, like their relationship.
It's like if the post isn't on social media, it didn't really happen, right?
No, it didn't. Or did it? So Amber Rose, I didn't realize she was dating your favorite person, Val Chmerkovskiy.
Yeah, because I think there was like a Dancing with the Stars thing or something.
Yeah, there was a connection because she was dancing with Max.
Yeah.
And that's how she met Val.
I don't even want to talk about that.
Well, they're not together anymore,
I know,
so it's
but
okay.
I did see them on social media together, so I kind of knew, and it was really upsetting.
I wouldn't have put them together,
Val
but then again,
Chmerkovskiy
who the
is
hell
like
knows?
hot.
Well, he's single again because they're not together, but
Holla!
she's with Shea bin Abraham Joseph, who goes by
AKA
Savage.
Savage.
Right. So
He's 21. I feel like she's older, and also isn't
Yeah.
she only famous for like fucking Kanye West? I think that's how she's famous.
Something like that.
That's how she's famous.
Well, and she's got like a shaved head that's like white hair. I don't know. She's like got a different look and big ass. I don't really know.
Anyway, that's what she does.
Yeah. So anyway, so they're together. They've been like posting things on social media, and he actually got flack because he's like being very explicit about his love for her. He said like it's so crazy how the world don't really know how good of a person you are and how you love and nurture people. I'm happy I met you, and like he's a rapper, and people are like, hello,
And they're
get it
also
together.
like, seriously, he's like a baby.
Yeah.
But whatever. I don't even know how old she is, but she's got a child with Wiz Khalifa, and like I don't. Anyway,
Ugh.
it's just the point of this is it's funny because it's like if it doesn't get announced on social media, it's like the tree falls in the forest and no one hears it. Did it really fall? It's the same thing. It's like, oh, it's official.
Yeah.
They're on back in the days when Facebook was like the thing. It was like, oh, we're friends on Facebook. We weren't really friends before, but now that we're friends on Facebook, we're friends.
Or if you're in a relationship, you must put in a relationship with.
Oh
and
my
then the
God.
person.
You know what's so funny? I didn't even think about that until this moment. I even looked at my relationship status on Facebook.
Well, you're actually single.
Oh my God. Fuck.
Well, so you should
I
probably
should
let your
go have
boyfriend,
I should go have sex with Val Chmerkovskiy before I change my status,
because then it'll be real.
because then I'll be fine because I'm not technically
You'll
cheating.
be locked down on Facebook once you change it. So you
Okay,
should
well,
just
I'm
run
gonna
free.
wait. I had a very, very vivid dream about Tom Brady last night, so I could also maybe try and go,
Move in there.
because Tom Brady would totally date me.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's probably over Giselle at this point.
Yeah, she's ugly.
Yeah. And like, after a while, people get sick of people.
I think so too.
No.
Also, people do
Sad.
get sick of people
They
because,
do.
listen, also on social media, first of all, can I just say I had to look up these people because I had no
They're little. They're teeny
fucking
tiny,
idea
teeny totters.
who they were. But Jack Galinsky and Madison Beer.
So Jack Galinsky's of Jack and Jack.
Yes,
they're like a YouTube
and Jack
sensation.
and Jack are the ones that our guest who we interviewed when we were on LA Talk Radio when we had Andre Ladon.
Yeah,
on, he was filming their
Yes.
documentary. All comes full circle. Before they
Yes.
blew up, or at the beginning of the blow up,
Yeah.
he was our guest and friend. Is a documentary filmmaker, commercial director, and video director, and he was shooting this thing that now is made them that
Jack and Jack. So the cuter of the Jacks, because
Yes.
the other one's like baby looking.
And
This one's like hot.
I then
for a
realized
youngster.
on my research that that's who these kids were. And his girlfriend, Madison Beer, who is a singer, great voice, only famous because Justin Bieber tweeted, which, listen, she has a great voice, so she's also famous because she's talented. But Justin Bieber tweeted a song of hers, and it was like, he's like Oprah.
Bam.
He's like Oprah.
Yeah.
Everything he touches turns to gold. So now these kids are famous. Beautiful young couple. Well, they had a fight and someone recorded it, and he calls her a slut, and she's like, "Get away from me." Now, can I just say, it's not you shouldn't, you can't, once you say words to people, you can't take them back. And I think they're very damaging. So I usually am careful with my words because I know, like, if I get in a fight with you, I'm not going to be like, "You're a fucking asshole." Like, I would never say that, or like, I would never call a friend like, "You're a fucking bitch," or I would never say that because you can't take that back and it's rude. I think there's other ways to manage your anger and express it. So do I think calling her a slut like multiple times was okay? No, but it wasn't quite as bad of a fight as I listened to the audio recording. It seemed like two kids at a party, and he just kept saying slut because he had nothing else to say, and she just kept saying, "Get away from me, stop." And it was really like, they weren't even really yelling their voices. It wasn't like as dramatic as I thought. I don't think it's okay that he called her that name, but like, they're like, the headlines are like, "He's emotionally abusive and he's verbally abusive," and I'm like, I
I feel like he's too young to be
I
those
feel
things.
like I don't even know how old they are. They're like 19 or something.
They're
It's
so
like,
young.
How many times did you get into you get into fights at that age and you just are immature, and so you
Right.
say stupid shit. I just am like, okay. But anyway, he came out and apologized, and his apology was actually very mature. So
Yes.
good for them.
However, there is a hashtag Jack Galinsky is over party, and that is like spreading. They're not together now. They've split up,
No.
but they are saying very nice things about each other,
Which is nice and mature,
Ish.
and obviously probably have some PR spin behind all that. But whatever,
Yikes.
it wasn't quite as bad as I thought it was going to be. But also, it's just immature fucking teenage shit. And without social media and the internet, like, all of us would have been put on blast at some point in our
Right.
lives.
We've all said things we're not proud of, but
So-
no one was necessarily there recording it.
Again, if a tree falls down in a forest and no one is around to record it, it doesn't really happen.
No, that tree's still standing.
You can boomerang post that tree falling down and then it really happened over and over again. Otherwise, no tree fell down.
I'm gonna go make that boomerang right now. I'm gonna post it. I hope
my
you all
God.
like it.
You guys, reality TV is also, I mean, the real world here, okay? What is happening? Because there is a lot of shit going down on the Housewives. I'm sorry. Are these girls, so you know, like when you don't have sex for a really long time and then you're like, "I'm a fucking virgin again"?
Yeah.
That these women are born again, single, like teenagers that are just graduating college and
Yeah.
like in the real, they don't know how to date.
They've
like-
regressed
they're-
into like
they're-
oblivion.
They regressed into like, they're like born again virgins. First of all, Luann is acting like, she cannot stop talking about being married. It's like she's
Thank
19.
God
It's like she's-
I found Tom. Oh, really? Are you sure?
Not
'Cause-
only that, but the thing she says, great, be happy for yourself that you're married. Awesome. And I feel like she needs to overcompensate. Fine.
But she says it right as everyone else is like down in the gutter. Like
She
they're
says
like
it, yeah, at
sad.
that dinner,
They haven't
yeah.
dated at all. And it's a terrible experience.
And she says it at weird times too. She's like, "Why don't I have the best room in the house? I'm the newlywed." What does that have to do with
Right.
anything? It's not like your Tom is here with you. It's the weirdest thing ever. And also, Ramona is like special education dater.
It's more painful every week to
What
watch her.
is she doing with that ski instructor that she's like ordering around like he's a fucking Sherpa? I'm like, I'm sorry. He's first of all, he's working for you. So he's not like he really wants to be here. He probably also wants to be on TV. And it's just, she is the most bizarre. These women, and then poor Bethany with this shit. I feel bad for her because you can just see her shutting down as the Page 6 articles are coming through about her husband stalking or ex-husband, and it's just sad.
Oh my God, and also him calling her old. I like that that's his like dig. Like,
but I'm sorry, I didn't realize she was older than him. I guess.
Well, also, she didn't all of a sudden poof get old.
Yeah.
He knew her and her age when he met her.
Wow.
She was the same age difference then. Like, you don't all like be like saying to you, you're old. Well,
I've always been
older than me, but like also we age because that's how life happens. So like all of a sudden to me, it'd be like, you're old.
Yeah, it's like, but that
what are you gonna do about it?
New news.
It's not a dig either. It's like, well,
it's also
life.
Okay, that's
science.
when I was born, and
know.
I'm still aging as we go.
I
along.
can't.
So weird. Anyway, but it's very entertaining.
Maybe that's why nobody should go get famous, because you've just heard a lot of things that are crazy.
So put yourself on blast, get ready to if it's going to happen. Also, aren't the OC housewives starting soon?
I don't know. I can't commit to
They
them.
are. Oh, you should.
I've never gotten into them, and I've watched bits and pieces, and it's like I'm already overly committed. Like you said, like I'm like, when do I find time for any of these things?
Well, you're choosing to watch things that are probably a little less trash than what I'm having.
You're giving me more credit than I deserve.
The hour I have time to watch TV, I watch the shittiest trash you could possibly.
But sometimes
imagine.
you have to watch mindless entertainment.
Totally.
Like I'm just gonna put everyone. Like I'm letting you all know, Hallmark Christmas week is coming up, July 15th. It's Christmas keepsake in July, and it's like a full week of Christmas movies.
In July.
In case you need your fill, Hallmark, you got that
Wait,
from me.
I'm gonna be gone for Christmas in July. Can we do an early celebration?
Of course.
Okay, great. Oh my god,
We'll just have to schedule that in.
I still have my
amazing.
Christmas tree in my apartment.
I know. I saw that, and I was
Well,
like,
it looks like a potted plant.
well, with a Christmas vibe. Your potted plant is kitten fishing because it's making itself look
Not like a Christmas
Right.
tree, but then you actually get close and you see there's string lights on it, and it's in fact a Christmas
so.
tree.
Guys, kitten fishing is the new rage. It's like catfishing, but it's like catfishing light.
It's
so
like a lie. It's like a white lie. Of a
Right,
lie.
like basically Facetune. So if you use any filters or you edit your photos or you use an old photo or like a blurry photo on a dating app, you're essentially kitten fishing because you're not representing yourself in the way you actually appear.
Or like if you're, a bartender, but you just directed a short film at your friend's apartment with your iPhone that was a 30-second short film and you call yourself a director. Well, did you not just direct something? Sure you did, but you also aren't a director. Kitten fishing. We've all kitten fished and we've all been kitten fished.
Totally. And it's a cute word. I'm not mad at it, but it's a real thing and people are doing it to each other.
So this word was actually coined by the dating app Hinge. Okay. And it's, they're just letting you know that it's a thing and to be aware of it. And, it's not necessarily the worst problematic thing in the world, but it's a thing. And it's
people can lay off the filters.
You kitten fish when you go into like a job interview. You're putting your best foot forward, but don't, you want to keep maintain it a little, like take it back.
Well,
like, just
also
be
this
aware.
is that whole thing where like now if you go on a date with somebody, like you almost hear a sigh of relief if you do look like your photos are better, where they're like, oh, thank God you look like what you presented. And it's like, what? Is that a thing? Apparently it has been a thing.
It is. And I get it. You want to highlight your good qualities and maybe you're ignoring the bad ones. And so then it's not an totally accurate representation. But hey, maybe that's a thing. Maybe if you're on a dating app, be blatantly honest and candid and like be able to like poke a little fun at maybe a situation, or don't be like negative, but just be fun and
well, I think this
breezy.
is probably why Hinge added that feature now where they have videos, not just photos in your profile, because they want you to represent you. I mean, there's not much face tuning you can do to a video unless you are like a superior editor where you can go color correct.
Well, yeah, I mean, some people can do this.
Some, but if they do, then fine. Pay them to do your profile too because they're really good at it.
Exactly. And you guys, there's some percentages here that are pretty funny. The app users found 38% of men feel like they've been kitten fished and 24% of women feel like they've been kitten fished. So according to how people feel, it seems like women are kitten fishing more than men.
Yeah. Or well, I feel like they're the ones who use the apps more to like face tune
and
stuff.
Also I feel like men lie about their height. So there's that.
Every
time. Every time.
Yeah. Well, also, I've seen a lot of men actually that use like old photos, like they were a lot younger,
where they
more
have
hair,
not missing hair. Jen, the other day we were out and she was describing somebody and she said, I don't know. And he's missing hair. Not balding, missing hair.
Like it got up and left.
It never came back. No. It's missing and it's on a milk carton somewhere. Anyway, oh my God, it's sad. But so listen, be aware of kitten fishing. Try not to do it. Be aware if you are getting kitten fished and go on Hinge and maybe you won't get kitten fished because of the video.
Yeah. We'll
okay, guys, we have our guest in the studio. Hanna Tucker is here.
Hi.
Hello, welcome to the show. We got you a sparkling rosé. Pop that puppy open. There's a straw. I mean, listen.
Wait, also, while you're doing that, I don't know if you need help opening that can with those nails. I didn't know that there were people with longer nails than me, but you have longer nails than me.
She knows how to make
finagle
it work.
That. Yeah.
Yes.
There you go. And there's
a
straw on the side of it or however you want to drink it. But we just thought, a little sparkling rosé. Yes. These things are perfect for like summertime. You carry them in this cute little case. You can bring them with you.
So cute. I could have taken them on all of my dog dates this weekend.
You could have. And it's, it's summer water.
Yeah, basically.
That's what we call rosé.
Yeah. Okay. There is actually summer water out there. It is rosé.
It is an actual rosé. Yeah. Okay, so how did you get your start in hosting? I know there was kind of like a long path. So tell us about your journey.
Well, it's funny. A lot of people say it's all about who you know, and that's really what I ran into. I had a friend who was working in media, and I was doing fashion at the time. I was doing my modeling thing, and she wanted to do fashion, so we kind of like swapped. And I was like, hey, CBS Radio, that's really cool. I was like, I want to do that, And so I contacted her, and she gave me a tour, and then I ended up, it's history from there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's crazy how things work.
So your modeling started, it kind of took you all over. Where are you originally from?
Arizona.
Oh, right. That's why you ended up back there. But when you landed in New York, that's when it all kind of started. Because that's sort of like the hub for media.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is. New York is huge. And that was definitely, a leap that I had to take to, get to where I wanted to be. I feel like at the time I was modeling full time. And I loved it there. I did some traveling before that, kind of to see where I wanted to be. And I was like, no, New York is the place. Like, I love it. It's so fulfilling and it's so lively there. And so much opportunity, a lot of competition, just like LA, but it is what you make it.
But if you let that drive you and you're open enough to letting things come your way, it's sort of like dating. It's like it can feel kind of competitive or it can feel kind of like stressful.
Right.
But if you're open to things, you were modeling. You may not have thought like, okay, I'm going to be a radio host.
No.
You have to be open.
No, they actually usually say like, oh, you have a face for radio, meaning you're not attractive because people only hear you. But you are a model and on the radio, so I feel like you're defying odds.
You would have never directly connected those two. It's just like, again, like dating. It's like my type's all across the board, but I like a tall, muscly black guy. I'm not going to say that my boyfriend, not that he's not muscly, but he does not look like that.
He's not a black guy.
Yeah,
no,
you just don't know.
You have to be open to what's coming your way. He's like all of the Irish.
Yeah. I always knew I wanted to do media in some sort of way, but I didn't know what route, like production, radio, TV. I didn't know. So once this, kind of not fell into my lap, but, it just seemed like it was meant to be. I'm like, why not? And I love it. I always say do what you love because that will just define your life and your outlook on everything. Really.
I agree.
Absolutely. So now you're there and you're on 101.5.
Correct.
Okay. And so what times can people listen to you? What is it? Do you talk, are you a VJ or not a VJ because it's not video?
Yeah. It's Saturdays at 2 p.m. and then Tuesdays at 1 a.m. And basically, it's music based. So we have your top 40 like Selena, Justin Bieber. Probably shouldn't say those two names in the same sentence.
I know.
Back to back.
Taboo.
It rolls off the tongue so quickly.
It does.
Yeah, just throw them all in there.
So we talk about current events and juicy hot topics with celebrities and stuff like that. But definitely music based. So definitely go for some good tunes.
I love that. But anything is sort of, because we were just talking about how celebrities' personal lives are so public and they're very public on social media. So as you're talking about the music, there's so much relationship shit to talk about too.
Oh yeah.
Right? All the time. break up, makeup, break up, makeup.
Yep.
It's like, okay, here's a cycle, you know, and you're like, okay, we'll have another update for you, like 10 minutes later.
You're like, we're listening to the songs, but also.
But Rob Kardashian tweeted again.
Right,
Yes.
exactly.
Breaking news. Rob now posted a photo of her vagina.
Jeez.
So
Oh, yeah,
sad.
the Photoshop vagina, we saw that.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, I
can't
didn't
even.
see it,
Okay,
but
I
I
didn't
can't.
see it.
Oh my God, it was this
Didn't see
whole,
it.
it's breaking the internet. And he also like called her out on saying that how she lost all the baby weight was he paid for her surgery after for like their
gotcha.
anniversary or something.
And
Oh,
it's like,
wow.
well, you know.
I'm just curious where he got all this money. He's like $100,000 for the surgery, $250 for
the
jewelry.
jewelry.
Like,
Yeah.
you make socks, my friend.
He is a Kardashian.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Well, I know
So-
he sold a house that he had recently too, so I
Oh.
wonder if he got money from that too.
I mean, I'm
You know,
sure.
people probably pay a pretty penny just to have a Kardashian house, so they can say, "Oh, well, I
Oh,
bought
yeah.
Rob Kardashian's house."
Which,
Oh,
listen,
yeah.
there's got to be some bad mojo in there.
Blah.
But, and he is, you know what, though? He is, I want to say, we're talking about like gender roles and things, and in his family of like women that are killing it, I would say, is probably the least successful one. And he's a male, and that's neither here nor there. But talking about gender roles and like, I feel, and it's not as to say like we don't have a place or can't do the things that all the men do, but it still feels like the media and entertainment industry is mostly male dominated. I'm not saying women are not up there and doing their thing, but it feels male centric still. Do you feel that way? Because you're in it. Do you feel like
Yeah.
there's mostly men?
I do. I mean, I do think it's also what you make it too. So regardless of if there's men or women, I think that, I mean, yeah, fact or not, it really is, like I said, what you make it. So if you're going into this industry thinking like, oh, men versus women, you know, I'm gonna feel lesser among all these men, you're gonna make yourself think that. So I think that if you really just dig down and say, no, I'm a person, I'm one
I
of
agree.
you, and you make yourself think that, you put those positive thoughts out there, and it doesn't make a difference.
I agree.
You know?
Pointing it out is what the problem is, and saying that
When
like,
is it going
there's
to
a
not
difference.
be a thing? Like,
But I don't think that you're right. I don't think it's not a valid point to recognize the unbalance sometimes. And
Yeah.
I don't know that you need to let it affect you or continue to point it out, but I do feel like it may affect things. It may affect how fast or far or much you can move up. Maybe not. I mean, women still don't get paid as much as men.
Yeah.
So there are things that are
The facts
actually
are the facts.
The
I
facts are
think,
the facts. But
like-
you're right though.
Yeah, like if you go in with a chip on your shoulder, you're going to carry that chip with you, and it's going to be known to everybody because everyone can sense energy. But
Yeah.
whether they know it or not. But I do think like maybe there's a shift. Like yes, maybe the producers or the decision makers used to be all men, and they're still in place because they're alive. But women are starting to be more producer type roles.
Yes.
Like for instance, at AfterBuzz TV, I mean Maria plays a bunch of different roles. She's
Yeah.
a producer. She is also on camera. They have a whole production company. Marissa, who's usually our engineer and producer, she is a female. We actually produce on the side too. So it's like you can do now both. You don't just have to be a pretty face in front of a camera.
And
Yeah.
you're the same.
right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you do all
Yeah,
these things
you
too.
have to do everything.
And I
basically,
think
yeah.
also within that, recognizing a gender role doesn't need to mean a bad thing. Like
Yeah.
everyone has their place.
Right.
Like parent, child, teacher, student, male, woman. I don't think you need to, it's a bad thing to be like, yes, we're all human, but like, and
You
there's
also don't have
common
to be
ground.
one thing.
But you also don't have to be like I think that it's okay to fall into some gender roles too. Like I don't think it's a bad
Let's
thing.
talk about that then in terms
Yeah.
of relationships. Okay. Because
Yeah.
there's different apps. And like I was on a dating app cleanse for a while, and now I'm
Okay.
back on Hinge and The League, whatever. They're there on my phone, and I may or may not look at them. I don't know. But I couldn't stand Bumble, and that was my jam for a long time. But I can't stand that the girl has to write first, and that's the rule.
Really?
Like I was like, I think it's the fact that it's a rule. I'm like, now you're putting all the
Okay.
pressure on
Oh,
me.
I understand what you're saying.
Like, sure, if
You
I
don't have a problem writing to someone
Right.
on your own, but the fact that you are told you have to do
Right.
something and that's
Yeah.
the only way to do it is annoying.
Right. And I think that just kind of almost it's like a smaller example of the bigger. Like anyone that's put in one box probably feels frustrated because
Right.
you're told you have to be that thing
It would
and you
be
can only do
just
this.
as annoying if the guy could only write
Right.
to you.
Right.
Are you on any
right.
dating apps?
I'm not.
Are
I'm
you?
actually. I've been in like I'm a long term
Okay.
relationship, so like 4.5 years now. So
Oh, wow.
I don't think dating apps were around when I was dating.
I don't think
Or
they
were
were
they? I don't
really.
even
They
know,
were, but I
but-
would. It probably wasn't like a bigger thing. I mean,
Yeah, it was probably just
Yeah,
coming out. But so
but-
how long have you guys been? 4.5 years? How did you
4.5
meet?
years, yeah, we met through, mutual friends, really. It was at a fashion show I was modeling at. So, yeah, history from there. But we never officially really rekindled and became a couple years later on Facebook, actually, because we were in different states, and that's how. So I guess that's kind of the same thing if you really think about it.
Yeah, you
It's really
connected
similar.
through an app. It just
Yeah.
wasn't a dating app.
Right.
that's true. Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
that's
that's also
crazy.
just modern day technology and like the
Yeah.
way we all live. That's just sort of a way to
Well,
connect.
I feel like, Facebook is the new phone book.
oh,
Almost.
totally is.
I don't need to
Yeah.
look on a directory for anybody anymore and
don't
like
need-
scroll through the pages.
Right. I don't need to flip through my phone book and be like, when's Jen's birthday?
No. Oh my God. Can you
Saves my
imagine
life.
writing down?
I would never, if Facebook is like legit a birthday reminder. for
yeah,
me.
that's the
Yeah.
only reason I go on because I need to know
like,
that day who
who's-
I have to wish
Yep.
happy birthday
Right.
to.
too.
Right.
And then
Thank
I
God.
almost
log
feel
off.
bad that it reminds me though. 'Cause I'm
Totally.
like, should I already know this? Like, yeah.
Well,
You don't have to know anything anymore. It's all automated and it's
True,
so great.
which is scary. Like I remember phone numbers from when I was like in 4th grade.
Yeah,
Because I had
same.
to dial them so many times. I don't know. I don't even know my boyfriend's phone number. No idea. At 213 something.
Yeah.
No clue. If I had to call him in an emergency, I would not be able to do it.
You should probably make a mental note to remember it now. Now, because an emergency.
Yeah, that's
You brought up a good point, and now I'm concerned for you.
But do you know my phone number by heart?
818.
Yeah.
Some other numbers.
See? What if you needed me for an emergency?
I could probably figure it out, but we're
Do you
on
know
air.
your boyfriend's phone number?
I
by
do
heart?
actually, because I have had an emergency where
Okay.
I needed it, and I was like, no. So
Okay, that's
yeah,
smart.
yeah. I got locked out of my car. I locked
Oh.
myself out of my car, and he was waiting for me. We were supposed to go on a date, like a dinner date, and I was like, oh no. He's sitting there in the restaurant alone.
He
like,
thinks he's getting
what do
stood
people
up.
think? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no. So yeah, after that incident, I was like, no, I gotta memorize it. Have to memorize it.
Good
So-
call.
Yeah.
I'm going to do
So,
it.
yeah.
Everyone memorize an emergency phone number now.
I only know my parents, and they don't live with her. Actually, that's not true. I know a couple more people. But yeah, no, it's a real. Anyway, so that's a whole other story. But so you guys have been together a long time now. So are you close to his family? Does he work in the same business? No, because you met him when you were modeling.
Well, he started in sports. He was doing baseball, and then now he's actually, in the same industry as I am. He does production, video production.
Oh, great.
So, so now there's a lot of crossover, and I feel like we can relate in that way, which is really nice. As far as family, we kind of have created like our own kind of family, which is really nice. I feel like we can go to each other. Yeah, I mean, like with my family, I think that I don't know, we have very different upbringings.
Okay.
So we were able to kind of, take what we have gotten through support and not support and put it together and create our own sort of like,
Dynamic.
niche.
That's nice
Dynamic,
because
yeah.
not everyone, it shouldn't be like a deterrent if you feel like you come from different backgrounds. There's
Right.
always like a commonality somewhere. And if you're creating a life together, you want to focus on that partially too, even if you come from the same background. Like
Yeah.
there's also that dynamic that you have
Yeah.
to nurture.
And I do feel like it's really true that opposites do attract in a lot of ways, and in the sense that they're complementing each other.
Okay.
So that's
And
I
you guys feel like
an
you're
example of
opposites?
that. In a lot of ways. He's very outspoken, and I'm just like, cool, you can do that, whatever. But he's like, da 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 da, like.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, but I think it's good because, if not, then who's gonna speak up? Who's gonna say,
Sure.
oh no, like you added something on the bill. I might not be able to say that if you're at a restaurant or whatever
Right.
situation comes up. So
That's nice that
Yeah.
someone plays that role. And
Yeah,
you also
complement each other then.
Yeah.
Probably.
Do you consider yourself like a go-getter? You said you're
Yeah.
more soft-spoken, but so how does that come out in you?
it's so weird because I feel like I've always been so quiet. But as I've gotten older, I've realized I have this drive inside of me, and I'm like, I know people don't know it, but they don't know it. I'm gonna come, I'm gonna come up, and then it's kind of like that.
It's like a hidden
But-
weapon.
Kind of, I guess, but it's just believing in myself and just knowing like I want to do it too. Because I feel like being a go-getter is knowing in your gut like what you should be doing or what you want to do too. So that's kind of what it is for me. Like I just know what I want to do and what's gonna stop me. If I want to do it, why should I let anything stop me?
Right. In anything, in any
Yeah.
aspect
Yeah,
of your
in
life.
anything.
So
Really, exactly.
you're working currently on Hollywood Files, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so tell us what that's all about.
So I started a new platform called Hollywood Files, and it's basically YouTube, Instagram, and WordPress based. And it's basically my, I've done radio and some TV, and I'm like, well, why not create my own platform? So I really want to be able to reach out to people on a level of being their best friend, like, hey, like, oh my gosh, did you hear this happened today? And be my way would be, or my platform would be very relatable in that sense, and that's what I'm going for. So I just started it, so don't judge. I have like 53 followers, but yeah, go follow
Yeah.
and like.
And so wait, how do they follow? Is just Hollywood Files on all of the platforms?
Yes, for Instagram though, it's Hollywood.files.
Okay.
And then Hollywood Files by Hannah B on WordPress.
Great.
So yeah.
And so you're talking all things Hollywood, but in like a relatable
In like
way.
a best friend way.
Yes, exactly. All things Hollywood, with definitely emphasis on fashion, because I love fashion. So if I see like Paris Fashion Week, Haute Couture just happened, so I posted a bunch of outfits from there, and I'm saying basically like this is what's in.
Yeah.
they
How do
killed
you
it on
make
that look.
how do you make that relatable though? Because obviously people can't go to Paris and be at Fashion Week and then buy these $1,000 outfits, and like, so do you suggest ways to, like, I don't know, what if we want to like be cute for date night or something?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
where do you like to
ooh.
shop to make that look kind of possible?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Honestly, I know it sounds so basic, but Forever 21 has
I
the
love
most
it.
amazing things. Like, I think this is necessary clothing. Do they have that out here?
I don't know.
New York has it. I don't
don't know.
I don't know if it's out here, but it's an amazing store. It's online. And then I know this is from Forever 21. This shirt. So yeah.
But
like
when you
anything-
pair things, like when you can mix and match
Yeah.
things, like people are afraid. They either think like Forever 21 doesn't look expensive enough, or they're too old to shop at Forever. I've had
You
a
are
couple
Forever 21. That's the whole premise.
I've
You
had-
can be
yes.
97 and shop there because you are Forever 21.
But I've
Exactly.
had girlfriends be like, I can't shop there. That's like too old for. I'm like, no, there are some things there that you have to be willing to look and take
Yes,
the
Right.
time.
there's so much stuff there.
It is definitely overwhelming though, because the amount of things there is just like absurd.
Yeah.
And I think it grows by the day. I feel
I
like
think it
just,
does, too.
It's doubling in size or
Yeah,
something.
It is.
exactly.
But so Forever 21's a go-to. You said necessary clothing.
Necessary clothing. is a
Okay,
good
where
one.
else can people find like the hot looks for date nights?
I would say, honestly, consignment shopping is huge.
Ooh.
There's a lot of designer consignment shops out there where you can go. Like, I got Jimmy Choo's for $35.
What?
$35.
From where?
And
It's
they were
called-
your size.
They were my
That's
size.
amazing.
Right. And they had, I want to say at the time, they had Gucci as well. Like, all these, I was like, oh, I want to buy them all. But it's called My Sister's Closet. That's one of them. And then Buffalo Exchange kind of has some stuff too. Definitely, if you dig, you can find some treasures. And it doesn't have to be designer to make it look great.
Sure.
I mean, designer obviously is nice, but yeah, it's all about what you make of it. So if you put together an outfit and you balance it out correctly, I think that's one way to do it. You can, I always say, like, focus on one thing. So like for my outfit, I have just kind of blacks and whites, but then I have this statement piece to kind of bring out the outfit. And in my shoes, you probably can't really see, but
Yes,
I have,
they're great.
they match. Like, I kind of tied it in that way. So
Yeah.
so yeah, it's all about like balancing it and tying things in. Yeah.
Sort of like being in a relationship,
Yeah.
balancing and tying things
Oh.
in. See how it all works? It starts with a cute outfit and it ends in marriage.
It does.
Ooh,
That's
so
the
intense.
path.
Love.
See how a cute outfit can get you the things you want? This is why. This is also why I think it's important to tie it in, because it's like, okay, cute, yeah, we're talking about shopping, haha. But what I think it really does is makes you feel good and confident.
Yeah.
I had a teacher in like junior high say on the day of a test, she was a math teacher, she would say, dress like in your best outfit and come on the test day, because it brings out a confidence in you. It makes you feel good. You're in this mode and it affects everything else. And I think that's like, you want to feel good when you're on a date. You want to feel, or just whatever, but I think it all starts from there.
Yeah, I think it all comes across too. Like, if you feel that way, that's what's gonna come out. And I don't know what it is, but like putting on a pair of heels, I feel like I'm walking in like I'm on a runway. Like, there's such a big difference between like that and flats for me, at least personally.
It
So I
changes just probably your posture and your
yeah,
confidence.
your posture. So you're walking in like this
Yeah.
instead of, like this, which I like flats too, though. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah,
'cause
we
they're
all
so
need 'em
nice.
sometimes.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
but yeah, that's the difference there.
Yeah,
Definitely agree.
you got to focus on, and also focus on like the part of you that you want to highlight as well. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
oh, like I really want to make my hair like that's the part of my best feature. Or
Yeah.
you also have to be realistic about that too.
Right.
Oh, you know what I can't stand is when people get into like a long-term relationship and then they let things go or they don't
yeah.
like try anymore. And like
Yeah.
that's like the whole age-old like, oh, well, she's wearing her sweatpants again. And they're
Okay.
like, oh, he's wearing that ratty shirt. Like, no, you still have to probably try, right? Because like
no.
if you want to be together for the long haul, like you gotta
should
keep
act
trying.
like you're trying to impress them, I think.
Always, it
I-
makes them feel important.
Yeah, exactly.
And you feel good when you're doing it too. I'm not like super deep in a relationship, but I'm over a year in, and I still, unless there's not time, and I don't want to be like high maintenance, but I will still, even if I'm just like going over to his house to have dinner with like him and his daughter, I will get ready
yeah. No,
because I'm like, I want to, like, it makes me feel pretty, and like also I'm not just gonna throw my hair up in a bun and be all sweaty after a workout or something. It's like, ooh.
yeah. And I think that comes too with also, I mean, even now being in a relationship for 4.5 years, you still want to impress. But also when you're in the beginning of a relationship, I feel like there's more at stake too.
Yeah.
And so you're, of course, trying to impress there. But yeah. Oh, wait, I had something in mind. I'm totally spacing what I was going to say.
Well, I think it's important to pay attention to those kind of things always, even if in the
Yeah.
beginning of the relationship it feels more at stake. It's still something that you should not completely forget.
Right.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say that it's funny because now that we're further into our relationship, my boyfriend doesn't really want me to wear makeup anymore. He's like, I like you without makeup, and I think that's something that comes with being together a lot. You get used to each other, and then he feels like he can say those things. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But yeah. But literally, like, it's
And also, I
opposite
think
almost now.
it's like when somebody you are more familiar with them and you're more attracted to them as you get to know them.
Mm-hmm.
That almost like the makeup is like unnecessary because they're like, well,
Yes.
I love your face. So you don't have to put makeup on. I mean, not
Yeah.
that you shouldn't, because if you want to, you want to.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I do think that comes with just like growth and like
It's true.
love.
I've experienced it as well. Like, I get told when I barely have any makeup on, like, I really like the way your makeup looks. I'm like, it's not even really on my face. But okay.
Thanks.
Yeah,
I'll
you're like,
try
"Oh, thank
to do the
you."
same next time.
But then there's sometimes where, listen, also, like, again, falling into gender roles, and this isn't the truth for every man and women, but like, I feel like, guys don't really know with eyeshadow. They're like, they don't fucking know.
Right,
Like,
they
I want to wear
don't.
this color eyeshadow today. Like, are they really going to know the difference or not? Like, even if I do a natural look, like, I still have makeup on my face, and you don't know that there's like highlighter and bronzer, but it looks natural to you. Like,
Yeah.
they just don't really know.
They don't.
So you're sort of just like, I'm going to do my hair a little different, or I'm going to maybe put on this different color lip gloss, and they don't fucking know.
Yeah,
No.
and sometimes I feel like wearing makeup. I'm like, but I want to feel pretty today.
Yeah,
right.
Totally.
And he's still, like, no, don't do it, which I appreciate. But
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. They don't get it. They really don't.
Well, I think that goes back to kitten fishing. You can
Yes.
actually
Oh.
kitten fish in a relationship because let's say you start with like, you meet somebody, you go on your first couple of dates and you've got hair extensions, eyelash extensions, a fake tan, all this makeup. You contour because you like bought, Kim Kardashian's,
Yeah.
new beauty set. And then all of a sudden, like the guy says, I love you. And you stop wearing any of these things. And then it's like, what did I wake up next to? It's
It
a whole
shouldn't
different
be that-
person.
Well, listen, you should, I think everything, like you're talking about finding balance in your outfit, like you need to find a balance for you and in the relationship. Like, you can't do something 100% for, not that any of us are doing this, but extreme situation, put on all this makeup and hair for someone else.
Yeah.
If that's
Right.
how you like to look, that's how you like to
Yeah.
look. And so you're probably never really going to waver from that. Might tone
True.
it down a touch. But if you like to put on, if you like hair extensions, then you're going to have them probably, or maybe they'll come in and out. But
They might fall out.
or they might fall. I mean, listen,
You don't
they
know.
Might,
They might go
God.
missing. You just don't know.
you might have hair that's missing.
Gotta go fish for those hair extensions.
Oh my gosh, what is like a? So you've been in like some serious relationships. You said you're like a relationship girl. First of all, what is like a deal breaker for you? Like, now that you've been through some serious relationships, what are you like? I will never do that again, or I will only date someone like that.
Oh my gosh. I think that communication is the biggest thing for me. And I know people say it all the time, but being, in a long-term relationship, I've realized that it makes such a big difference. Like, even if you're, you want to leave the house for just a couple minutes, like if you leave and I come back and I'm like, where'd you go? You know what I mean? So it's like the little communication,
Even the little things.
just makes such a big difference in anything. And if there's like an issue, talk about it. Don't hold it in, because if you hold it in, it's just going to get worse.
Yeah.
So communication is just so important.
Do you think that you're especially good at communication in relationships because you work in communications and like your job is to talk?
I guess I do have a communications degree, so
Yeah,
that would
just
make
that.
a lot of sense.
Right.
But yeah, no, I think I've always kind of honed in on it, and well, I guess that'd be why I even got the degree in it. But yeah, no, it's definitely makes such a huge difference.
And you feel like it's like a strong point for you, or it's easy for you to communicate. Because some people feel like they have a hard time saying what they want or talking about an insecurity or something that bothers them because they don't want to be a nag, or they don't want to look like they're insecure or vulnerable.
Right.
But you think that it's beneficial to sort of open up and just let it all hang out, because you need to, at least you have to be honest about how you're feeling.
Yeah, I do, because that makes that, if you open up to the person, then you're on the same page and you know what's going on. I feel like if you don't know what's going on, then you're going to be kind of in the dark in the relationship, and you won't know where to go or like what to say kind of thing. So if you direct the other person, like, then they know how to help you.
Totally.
'Cause
Right.
You're supposed to help each other in a relationship.
And also, I always say this, the problem exists whether you say it or don't say it.
Exactly.
So you're either bottling it in and keeping it to yourself and feeling all of the feelings anyway, or you're saying it out loud and feeling all of the feelings anyway. Keeping it in doesn't stop you from actually experiencing whatever is making you feel the way you feel. So you can choose to try and fix it or talk through it, or you can bottle it in and feel it either way.
Well, and also talking about it doesn't mean lashing out like Rob Kardashian. Let's just bring that right back there. That doesn't mean talking about it. That is being a crazy person. Now, talking about it might be like, I have a feeling it's of concern, and maybe you don't know you're doing it, or maybe I am being insecure, but let's talk about the thing that is here.
I think that helps when communicating or learning to communicate with someone. And I also think it's a constant maintenance. It's something that you have to constantly work at all the time. And then you kind of figure out, okay, there's a problem. We're talking about it. How are we? Okay, now we see eye to eye, and a month later, new problem. You got to try and figure out how to
do it all again.
You got to do it all again. It's a constant thing. And I think words, we talked about this, words, I believe personally, they talk about the 5 love languages or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think? Do you know them all? What do you think yours is? It's like words of affirmation,
Service, presence,
and
touch, and a thing that is forgotten.
What's important to me is words.
Yeah.
So the good ones land, and so do the bad ones. I believe you have to be very careful about your words, and I don't think that means you're not allowed to talk about how you feel, but just don't be Rob Kardashian about it.
Right. And don't just, fly off the handle and say things that you're going to regret.
Because you can't take them back.
Some people, though, don't feel the same way about words. And, like, I've dated people that, like, were loose cannons and would just unleash on me. And it's like, I am going to still remember you said those things to me tomorrow. Do you really feel that way? Or was that just in your, like, fit of heat that you, you just use all the words in your arsenal, however you said them to me? So I feel that you feel that way about me now.
And it's hard, too, because these days we're communicating via, like, text message now, too, and you don't always know what the person might truly mean, too.
Right.
So it's like you have to be super careful with your text message.
With your word
don't
choice.
Say it, or say it later when you see the person. But yeah, it makes it kind of complicated.
It does.
It's always complicated, no matter what.
We're here, everyone.
That's why we have a show. The minute it gets uncomplicated is when we are doomed.
Oh, God. So
what do we talk about then?
Well, let's create problems to talk about.
Okay.
What else can we talk about?
I don't know.
Well, we're talking about communicating.
Yeah.
And I think that, again, gender roles, sometimes women are labeled as nags. I think it's because we are typically more open with our emotions. Just typically, not always, not all women, because I know women that are very closed off. But
I have an opinion on nags. I actually think the word is really layered.
What do you mean? Explain.
Okay, because I think there's two parts to this. So someone is a nag because they've asked for something more than once.
Yes.
But the other person that maybe hasn't done the thing also is contributing to the problem
100%.
and creating a nag. If you don't, if you just actually do the thing that is upsetting the person, or picking up the clothes, or just being considerate of what somebody's asking
There's
of
two
you,
sides.
because you are communicating. And I think nagging comes from a lack of communication or hearing the other person. So something has to be repeated, and then something is now repeated with frustration, and then it keeps
Yeah.
building. I think if everyone just listened to each other and actually cared what the other person had to say,
Right.
and you all have the same goal going in the same direction, there's no nag.
The goal is the end of the story, because
Right.
if you have to ask for something more than once and you don't see it happening, then you also have to take that as a sign.
Right.
Like, okay, well, there's only so many times I can ask. Now I'm a nag because I want these things that you don't want. So what do you do?
Right. So are you a nag, or are you just somebody that wanted something and then never got it, and you keep asking, and now
Right.
you're just put in this position
I agree.
to have emotions about the
Yeah.
thing you never got, which could have just been like, pick up your towel.
I know.
Could have been something
Yeah.
dumb, and now
Do
you're
you-
labeled a nag.
Do you ever feel like that because you openly communicating? Do you ever feel like you're asking for things, or and then it makes you feel kind of vulnerable, like, ooh, maybe I'm asking too much, or maybe I'm too open, or
Sometimes I do think a little bit. It depends on, like you said, the other person's like reaction to you. Because I feel like a lot of times, I'm more of the communicator. So like you said, that's what it is. Like, just one person, as opposed to like this person coming back and solving the problem. So yeah, I mean, a little bit sometimes, but I'm like, that's not what I mean, But yeah, it's just communicating and then listening. Listening is that missing part.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because
so
that's the other end of the communication. It's not just
Exactly.
talking.
Exactly.
You have to receive the information, or
Yeah.
hope that the other person is receiving the information. Otherwise, it's
Yeah.
just dead.
Where's
in
it
the
going to
water.
go?
Where?
Yeah.
Well, hey, again, who knows? If it didn't really get texted or posted or put on Facebook, it might not really be happening.
That tree never fell down.
That tree never fell down because there's no boomerang to prove it.
Oh gosh.
I mean, it's just the social media and technology takes over. I had, obviously you carry your phone with you everywhere, and I was up, for the 4th of July weekend somewhere where my service was really spotty. So I just gave up, and I put my phone in my purse, and there would be sometimes where I'm like, oh my God, I have not looked at my phone in like
Yeah,
13 hours.
A panic attack kind of inside. You're like, oh wait,
Am I
someone might
missing
be trying
something?
to- Yeah,
Totally.
Yeah, contact me. I've totally had that before.
What do you feel about like relationships that you're sitting down, speaking of technology, and like you're both in the room and you're like silently on your phones, or like, do you have rules about that, or like no phones at
Yes.
dinner, or what do you? Yeah.
Yeah, so my boyfriend hates that. He goes, look at them. They don't look like they're enjoying each other. They look like they're in their own worlds. He's like, I hate that. We are never going to be that. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. Like, that's where his assertiveness comes in, and my, more quietness is there. And he's like, and then I'm like, oh, I see that too. Let's not be like that. So yeah, we do have a rule. So like only one person can be on their phone and, check it. Okay, then we're good. Back to
Oh,
the
I
date.
like that.
I
So,
like
yeah.
that, but not both.
Right, exactly, but not both, because it really does look sad. Like
It does look sad.
Yeah. Because I'm like, are you okay? Is this a date, or are you guys friends?
I
Or-
was
yeah.
just somewhere recently where with my boyfriend we looked over at the table of like 8 people, and every single person was
gosh.
like this,
Yeah.
or like taking a picture of their food, and I'm like, okay, I can't. Oh my God.
Yeah, but like I admit it, I will do it too, and I
Yeah.
don't even realize it. I'm like, oh, look, something happened. Oh, wait, you guys are all in your phones too. Like, yeah. So
Well, I think it's actually like now an addiction. And I think almost
Yeah.
that's why the dating app thing is so out of hand, because you are continuously swiping because you feel like if you don't, you might miss the next person who
Yep.
could potentially be the one. Or if you
Right.
have your phone down or somewhere else, you might be missing the thing that you had to hear in that exact moment. Guess what? It'll still
FOMO.
be there later.
FOMO is a real thing.
It is. And I think and there's so many things in the device. So there's emails, there's texts, there's phone calls, there's the
Dating
internet,
apps.
there's dating apps, there's social media, and there's plenty of social media. There's just like a bazillion
All
apps.
of them.
So I think that it causes this sense of like urgency when you're like with somebody and you're just not even with them. You can
And
be
then it's like
texting
almost
them.
like an autopilot thing too. So I think
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
nice to think
Have
about
rules.
to think about constantly. Like, you don't just work on something and then give up. Like, you're constantly communicating. You're also being aware constantly. Like, oh, you know what? I went for my phone. if you have a rule, you know then to kind of maintain it. And remember, relationships of any kind need to have boundaries and rules. And I think that's really important. Also to, like we said, you know, don't forget to make yourself feel cute sometimes, or find a cute outfit, or you always pay attention to those things, because everything is a constant maintenance. You can't, once you start just getting complacent and letting things go, that's when shit goes awry, I think.
A relationship is a lot of work. It's not easy. You have to keep
it's complicated.
It's complicated.
Guys.
So complicated.
Forever.
See? See how that all worked out? Okay, so Hanna, thank you so much for coming in.
Yeah,
Remind
thank you.
everyone where they can find you, listen to you, watch you, all of the platforms.
Yes, so you can just, I'll keep it simple. You can go to @Hanna BEE Tucker, no H on the end of Hannah. Sorry, that's complicated too, but I'll say it one more time. It's @HANNA BEETUCKER, and I have all my platforms on my Instagram. So
Okay, so then you can follow her on all the platforms, and you can also, the Hollywood Files, you can find from there too.
Yes, yep.
And then they can listen to you again, remind them of your radio.
Yes, Live 101.5 Phoenix on Saturdays at 2, and then 2 p.m., and then Tuesdays at 1 a.m.
Love it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay,
Well, thank you so much for
yay.
joining us.
Thank you.
Thank
so fun.
you.
So much fun. And guys, we have a couple quotes that pertain to what we've been talking about.
We do. We're talking a lot about gender roles today.
Yes.
Yeah.
My favorite that we have here is women belong in the kitchen. Men belong in the kitchen. We all belong in the kitchen. The kitchen has food.
Yes.
It's got food.
See?
Guys.
See?
It's pretty simple. Just go to the kitchen.
And I like this one that Emma Watson, you know, she's become sort of like an ambassador for gender equality. And she said, it is time that we all see gender as a spectrum instead of two sets of opposing ideals. We should stop defining each other by what we are not and start defining ourselves by who we are. So it's also that too. It's like we're all just one.
Yeah.
Be different because you're different because you're you, not because you're black or white or gay or not or man or woman. Just you're you. Just be you.
Exactly.
And then also when you need like a guy to hang a shelf or something, then just let that happen too.
Right. Because
I mean, not that I can't hang a shelf, but it's fun to watch.
Right. Because they just really like doing
And
it.
they have muscles and they hammer and it's like, oh, that's
super
nice. Yay. Drink your rosé and watch someone build something. That's what I like.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks again for joining us. And don't forget to tune in for next week. We've got Nathan and the band East of Eli.
And don't forget to follow us at Complicated Show. We deliver this content for free to you every week. And we just want you to tell a friend and follow and like and subscribe.
And rate us.
And rate.
5 stars, maybe.
Because
if you could.
Obviously.
Because like 4 would be weird.
And
just go 5.
Yeah, because that's we go big or go home.
Exactly.
With all the stars. That's right. And where can everyone find you?
Oh, well, you can find me at Jennifer Golden on all of these social media platforms.
Jennifer with one N, just like Hannah with no H.
Exactly.
See? And you can find me at Lauren Leonelli on all of the platforms, and that's just spelled normally. It is.
It is. It's phonetic.
It's phonetic. So.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you next week.
Love you long time.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.